People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal's under-18s played against Fulham on Saturday and they drew 0-0. Both teams in this London derby, get a share of the spoils. And, a draw is a decent point on reflection of what's happened. I'm sure both teams and sets of management, won't be happy because I think the game was there for the taking for both teams. Definitely towards the end for Fulham. They had a number of clear-cut opportunities. If there was a bit more quality in the final third, a bit more better decision-making, a bit more quality on the pass, they could have nicked 3 points, and we could have as well, people, really and truly. I think generally both teams cancelled each other out. I'd say both teams in the final third, that added bit of quality to get a goal or two. I think obviously both teams failed to do that. I just think it was a low-key affair. As much as I say low-key, there was a lot of tackles and, the ref was busy with the bookings. Both teams did have opportunities, I'm going to show the stats in a sec, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't much in it for shots and things like that. And on the topic of shots, off the top of my head, like I said, both teams were getting in behind, but there wasn't enough quality, they're not hitting the target. And Fulham have a number of good players. They've got Parks, they've got, what's his name, number 8. They've got a couple of good players, man. It's really for another vid. When you think of Fulham, you think of a good side. They have a good catchment area. They also utilize very well the Brentfords, the QPRs, these sort of teams taking their best players and adding to them, as you've seen. Like, you've got my guy Michael on the bench, and it's sad to see he didn't get any minutes. Very good technical player, highly rated at Fulham, rightly so. He's got all the potential in the world. But in relation to this game, like I said, there isn't much to speak about. Both teams had a number of shots, barely hitting the target. Both teams created, barely, any added bit of quality. It was nice to see us go with a 3 at the back, and I think our defensive back 3 or 5, including the fullbacks, looked very good in that system. I think we gave as good as we could. But there wasn't much in the game, really, 0-0, 50% each in terms of possession. Fulham had 4 shots on target to R2. Fulham actually had 16 shots in general to R7. We had more touches with 96 to their 78. And our keeper had to make a number of good saves towards the end, I have to mention that. They had 5 corners, we had 4. They had 5 yellows, we had 1. We conceded 14 fouls and they conceded 19. So there wasn't much in it. Both teams, as I said, when they go and review this game, they'll feel they could have got something from it. And definitely the way we've been playing. Not like there's anything to speak about, but Kiddo Taylor Hart, man, he goes from strength to strength. He showcased some good skills to beat people 1v1. He plays like he's in a cage, man. I really like the way he plays, and I really like the confidence he's playing with at the moment. Hopefully he, steps up to, under 23's level. But in relation to this game, generally, people, there isn't much to speak about. We didn't score, we didn't concede. We get a share of the points, people. And if we were to look in terms of league standing and things like that, where that puts us now, I don't think it helps our case at all, We're 7th. We're 1 point behind Chelsea. It is what it is. And considering Fulham are 4th, we could have probably leapfrogged them if we took all the points. But again, it's all right, man. We move. It's been an interesting season. We've lost 3 times. The biggest defeat was obviously to Brighton, who sit 6th. From our 8 games, we've played 8. We've won 4. We've drawn 1, and we've lost 3, people. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and I can guarantee all of these young 16. Well, a lot of them are turning 17 now. In Mon Louise, in Kion Edwards, in Amari Hutchinson, Charlie Patino. But for these young lads, these are the lessons you have to learn. Kill games off and stuff like that. And I think throughout these 8 games, there's been some good moments where we've ran riot. There's been some moments like against Brighton where we have been destroyed. But I think there's been some good learning curves. And I do think this is a good crop of players. For Kiddo Taylor Hart, I hope he keeps progressing and gets a pro deal at the end of the season. I'm happy to see, the Patinos, the Flores, who's not really been starting of recent weeks. The Ferrans, the Mon Louises, Amari now. Couple under 18 first year scholars are starting to bang on the door for 23s, whether that's the 23s generally poor form and people going out on loan that's giving them that platform, I don't know. But I do think we've got a good crop of players. But in relation to the Fulham game, like I said, Arsenal versus Fulham's under 18s 0-0, and there isn't much to speak about. Me, people, I'll never miss an opportunity to run Moro, Bendia propaganda, Brook propaganda, Charlie Patino, but there's none of that today. Patino was fouled a lot of times as well, as was a number of them, but it is what it is in that regards, people. Arsenal 0, Fulham 0. And that's it, man. Please hit the subscribe button, people. I'm out. Please check out the YouTube memberships on my page as well. I'm out of here, man.